It's another busy weekend at West Point with 3 stars between Army and Navy on the line. We'll start with 2 up for grab here at West Point over at the golf course, where the men's and women's cross-country team will take on the midshipmen Friday starting at 4 p.m. Mike Smith knows that having the meet here against Navy is going to help his team as they know the course and hope that plays into some sort of home field advantage.
I feel like we're prepared. I mean, with the roster that we have, we're about as fit as we can be on both sides. And I think our people are ready to do what they can do, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. I think the course is pretty challenging, so hopefully that, and we're familiar with it, so that should provide us, if there is a home field advantage, that should provide us a home field advantage.
After being postponed 2 weekends ago, Army and Navy will finally take part in their annual golf match. This year it's down in Annapolis. The similarities between the West Point course and the Annapolis course are very, very close, the only big difference being that Annapolis has a course that's about 400 to 600 yards longer. Last weekend, Army tied Yale in the Bush Cup, an event that's very similar to the style they'll be playing against Navy, and hopes that it helped them prepare for the match against the midshipmen.
Navy, the star match, means the world to all these young cadets, and so we still try to treat it as another event. It's a unique event in the fact that we play 4 balls on Friday, and then we play single matches on Saturday. But overall, you're still playing golf. You still got to hit the golf shots, and there's nothing I can say to the team to fire them up. They're ready to go.
The Army swimming and diving team gets set for their only home match of the semester as they take on UMass Friday afternoon at Crandall Pool. Coach Wender was impressed with his plebes, especially on the women's side last week when they took on Binghamton in their season opener. With a senior-heavy team, everyone on this team knows their role, according to Coach Wender, as they get set to go for the 2015-2016 season.
So I'm very pleased with our team. I think we've got good leadership on both sides. There's a real energy, enthusiasm, a focus on performance, which is really important. A lot of the peripheral stuff, the things that we can't control, are not nearly as important to this particular group as I've seen, so I'm excited.
After last Saturday's thrilling 3-2 victory over Navy, the Black Knights volleyball team returns to Gillis for 2 more Patriot League matches against Bucknell on Saturday night, but the big one's going to be against Lehigh on Friday night as the Black Knights round out the first half of Patriot League play. Coach Cavacci sees this team improving every time they step on the court, and that's their goal, to get 1% better every time they play as they hit the halfway point of the Patriot League season.
We've been working very hard in practice with our passing, defense, and our blocking, and I think that will be our key skills for this weekend. Lehigh is a very good team, very efficient. They have some key hitters, and they're one of their outsides and their middles, and it's going to be very important for us to make sure that we can block and defend them very well. And it first starts with our serving. We got to be a little bit more aggressive with our serving, and if we do that, it's going to be good.
Rounding out the action at West Point this weekend is the Black Knights men's soccer team as they get set to take on American. The Eagles of American University have already taken on numerous ranked opponents this year, most recently number 19 Virginia, who they shut out 1-0. American is a team that Army saw twice last year, including the postseason, where the Black Knights advanced on penalty kicks to the semifinals. Army's looking to build off the emotional 3-2 win they had last week at Lehigh as Patriot League play hits the halfway point.
This is a very good American team. As you can see, they've beaten some top 25 teams this year. They're rolling right now, and we've got a really tough task on our hands. It's going to require us to be at our very best to get a result against them. And so we prepare for what we see from this current team, and we can't look back into years past because what matters now is where they are and where we are, or who we are.
There are a bunch of teams in action on the road this weekend for Army, including the Sprint football team, who looks to remain perfect as they take on Franklin Pierce. Sprint football also yet to give up a point on the season. They're already more than halfway through their schedule. The men's and women's rugby team are in action for the Black Knights. The women take on Life, while the men take on Iona. The women's soccer team's down in Maryland to take on Loyola, and Rifle gets their season started when they take on Ole Miss. That's going to do it for your weekend preview. For Night Vision, I'm Zach Daly.